What I'm about to say this morning, first let me say good morning, may appear to be somewhat insensitive and lack of compassion, but someone needs to say it. This country and our government and people of all walks of life are always talking about what the wealth class, the haves, should do. We have an administration that has a mentality that to help those who are less fortunate, you just tax those who achieve, you tax those who build businesses, you tax those who make sacrifices to have a better way of life, not only for themselves, but their children. You keep fleecing from the bills of society to help what you consider to be the downtrodden. While I believe in charity begins at home, while I believe in paying tithes on Sunday, all which is important, I think the one issue which we've neglected to really address in this country and to make this constituency I'm about to talk about accountable is what we consider to be the poor class, the have-nots. Case in point, there are many poor people in this country today who have personal accountability and responsibility. They take care of their families. They don't look for government handouts. Yes, government may be a temporary way out, but they're not looking to government as a permanent solution to take care of them and their families. But on the other hand, there's a certain class of people in this country who consider themselves poor. They're poor by the choices they make. They're poor because they want certain jobs that gives them status so they can brag about before their friends and feel good before their friends. There are certain jobs they just do not want to take. They don't want to be bus boys. They don't want to have menial jobs working in hotels behind desks, which are dignified jobs. You're earning an honest living. No, they want the kind of job where they can have the kind of job where somebody else can subsidize them. And what do I mean by somebody else subsidizing them? There are a lot of people in this country that don't want to take care of themselves. What many of them want to do, especially this younger generation, is have these babies out of wedlock. If they don't want to work on jobs that pay $16,000 and $20,000 a year at a minimum wage, they go out and sell drugs. They corrupt their community. They destroy their families, and yet these families in some of these communities protect them. In other words, what am I saying this morning? There are many poor people in this country who are not pulling their weight. It is not the community responsibility, it's not corporate America responsibility or the government's responsibility to take care of your lazy behind. You need to get out and work, and somebody needs to tell these young girls they need to stop allowing these young boys to knock them up and stop this trend where you have these babies out of wedlock. The man has no interest in you. He only wants sex for one night. And once you're left with the baby, they want you to have an abortion and you're left alone. And you know who pays for it? The government. The more babies you have out of wedlock, the more money you can get out of the government. If this administration of this country wants to cut back and cut down the deficit, you need to start with the behavior of people in this country who have no regards for work ethic, no regards for faith, discipline, and routine. They just want somebody to take care of them. I believe in giving someone a hand out, but it should not be a permanent hand. And we need to send a message that we're willing to help those who in the past who could not help themselves. But it's time for the poor and so-called underclass in this society to start pulling their weight. That is not the government's responsibility. And it is high time that somebody continues to say this and say this. We should reward achievement. There should not be a resentment against achievement in this society, because what you do, you force people to achieve less, and it doesn't help this stalling economy that we continue to face. I'm Armstrong Williams, and the message today, underclass, it's time for you to step up to the plate and pull your weight for this country.